Hey everybody, episode 53 of the Seller Club podcast is upon us. So before we jump in, let's go ahead and drop that beat. Hey guys, what's up?
Hello.
You're bringing so much energy to this episode already.
Energy. This is we're in the middle of, best time of the year.
Yes.
Q4, baby. Come on now.
Right? Glenn's Are you guys tired?
Glenn's already tired.
We're always tired. That means we're busy.
True.
We're busy doing stuff.
Glen is. At least Glen is.
Yeah, we're tired.
He's the busiest person.
If we're not busy like shipping and, processing tons of orders, we're busy like prepping and stuffing our stores full of stuff so that we can do that later. It's like one busy or the other, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
If we're not tired, we're not busy. If we're not busy, we're not tired. So we got to be on top of things.
That's right.
In this episode, they don't even know what we're talking about today because this is Hustler Hacks Takeover. So,
exactly.
Very special topic today.
So special. I'm just gonna go with it because I don't know what the topic is, but it is very special. I'm sure it's never not been special whenever you've taken over. So
exactly, we get the best answers.
I think Ken just likes the challenge of thinking on the fly.
Yeah.
Well, before we hear the special topic, do you guys want me to take care of some housekeeping really quick?
Sure.
And we can just get on with it. Okay. So real quick, we just had with eBay the winter seller check-in, and so we are linking to the official recap for that in our show notes. Definitely recommend checking it out if you did not attend. They had updates around holiday shipping, some really cool insights about buyers from the ads team, and a bunch of other information that's
they
meant to help you during this
They also
busy
put out
Q4.
the holiday report, so
yeah,
it will be linked out there. Me and Anna did a Instagram reel about it, ebayadvertising.com, to just give you a better insight on how consumers are acting during this holiday.
Yeah. Do you guys like to know that kind of information? Like, what are buyers thinking and doing? Like, do you find it helpful?
I think I always want to know what they're thinking and doing.
Right. It's like, I don't know how much it changes, like, what I'm doing, but I feel like it changes how I see what I'm doing, or
at least I feel
fills
right,
in the
like
blanks
at least
a little bit.
I feel like the feeling of spending money on eBay advertising and promoting gives it like a reinforcement, like, oh, that was money well spent, because because did you know over 50% of U.S. consumers have bought something on eBay last year?
Isn't that wild? And the other 50% don't know eBay exists.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm proud of eBay because they are doing some more broad global type of marketing stuff, and it's really cool.
Yep.
So,
and I know the tagline: things people love.
Things people love.
I
fully support it. I love that, actually. I think it's really cool. Okay, another little housekeeping item. We heard through the grapevine that some sellers have been getting emails about receiving an electronic 1099K from eBay. Probably a lot of our listeners are going to receive that because they're probably, met the criteria for this year for getting a 1099K. But we heard that maybe people who didn't meet the criteria were still getting the email. So if you guys are confused by that, if you have questions about it, our other sponsor, Seller Ledger, actually wrote a great blog post explaining all of that.
Yep.
So we're also going to link to that in the show notes just in case people have questions about it, because I think that just happened. And then our last housekeeping item is actually really exciting. It's an announcement of not one, but two giveaways. Actually, it's one giveaway, but there's two winners. So it's like a double giveaway.
Exactly.
Yes. And that actually starts today. So if you're listening to this episode, the day it drops on November 18th, Monday, November 18th, the giveaway has just begun. You need to go to our social media, go to our Instagram account, Seller Club Podcast, and enter. So what we're giving away are 2 Rollo label printers. And we're also going to throw in, of course, swag and some of our sweet collab merch that we got to make with eBay, which is really fun. And I can tell you that the swag will at minimum include like one of those giant eBay tote bags. So you can like put all your packages. Yeah, I love them. Seriously. I think I have 4 and I use them
we're going to give them
constantly.
some eBay poly bags as well.
Yeah.
to help you guys expedite all your shipping.
So this is all about shipping, which is great. But there's going to be double the chances to win, right? So make sure that you enter. We're going to be announcing the winners on November 25th. So just make sure you get in there. And all the directions about how to enter are on our social media as well. So I think that's it. That's all the housekeeping.
That's it.
A lot of things going on.
I know.
Everybody, buckle up. Get your snacks.
Get
relax,
your snacks.
Get your popcorn ready.
Hustler Hacks is about to happen.
I feel like he needs his own beat for whenever he takes
He needs his own intro.
Oh,
yeah, like you need like theme music.
I need theme
right
music.
here, right now.
All right, here we go. Now
Wow.
this is what we're gonna say, what we're talking about. When I was really thinking about today's topic, there's one question each seller needs to ask themselves entering into this late November, December important time of the year. That one question to ask yourself is, am I mishandling my own inventory?
Dun dun dun.
So something to think about. Now there's 5 different little sections here that we need to go over, and we're going to get insight from Anna and the Bee as we talk about this. So there's no particular order. One isn't more important than the other. They're all important. So
Sounds like this is a conversation of self-reflection and personal responsibility.
whoa.
Radical responsibility brought to you by Hustler.
You know, it's not my fault. It wasn't really my fault.
I was like, can I just go ahead and say, yes, I'm mishandling my inventory?
Yes.
No, just kidding. I mean, maybe I am. We're going to find out.
Maybe we are.
I'll
Maybe
have to
we are.
confess if I am.
Okay, so let's go number 1, which is lack of an organized storage system. Now, selling on Whatnot, selling on eBay, things can get a little wild, especially if you're planning to move quite a bit of items on one live show. eBay side, you know, you can stay patient, and the right buyer is going to come in, buy that item. But you still got to stay extremely organized, whether it's the bins or it's the racks or whatever that is. I can tell you that I think what I struggle with, the organization, is like when new stuff comes in. Usually I get like, I don't know, it could be like 200 to 300 hats at a time. And then I got to figure out like, you know, what do I want to sell? What do I want to put this? Where am I going to put that? I think the eBay side over the years has just become a lot easier when you're kind of selling the same type of products. I know where they are, I know where they fit. But let's say for you, Anna, for example, you have different kinds of products from different all shapes and sizes. So lack of an organized storage system going into Q4, I would say, is damn well critical that you need to figure that out. What do you think?
Strong words from Hustler Hacks. Yes, I totally agree. It's critical. And I was actually very proud because as soon as you announced this item on the list, I was like, I'm doing this one really well. It's probably the one I'm doing the most well. I am pretty dang organized, but I totally agree that at least in my current setup, like the biggest like bottleneck or messiest part of the process is kind of before it gets photographed and processed into my listed inventory. It's kind of the holding tank of like about to be in my inventory that can be kind of messy, but I even do have a process for that. Right now, just being kind of in a new space again, having moved recently, like I don't have all the space completely optimized the way I ideally want it because I need to sell down some more of my inventory to do that. But I do have a plan for that as soon as I have the space. So, yeah. So I just think it is like extremely important, and it will, potentially cost you time, money, store metrics, right? If you can't find something.
Frustration.
You're
all frustrated. I can't find this.
Yeah, mental, emotional energy,
And
self-esteem.
what would you rate yourself though out of 10?
Oh,
Out of 10?
Yeah.
9.
Oh, on top of
Solid
things.
9.
Pretty high.
I would
love
say-
my inventory system.
I think I would say I'm 9 out of 10 on the eBay side. I'd probably say I'm like 6 out of 10 on the whatnot side. I
Well,
feel like they're
it's
kind of
way
scattered.
more fast and loose, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
It's
goes
like the
so-
Wild West gunslinger
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Like, I when you don't, especially when you don't run a listed show, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Whatever you can pull, right? Random pulls. But I would say we just redid ours, at least the sneaker side. We just consolidated a lot. We used to put them all by the same style, right? Like all the Dunks are here, all the Jordan 1. But we're testing a new system that I'm putting everything in with the same box in one kind of like rack. So the red Nike Air will be all in the same kind of like column or shelf, and then they're just arranged by sizes. So because I
Yeah.
take photo of the box as my primary, then I could be like, okay, a size 13 in a red box. Then you're only looking like currently I'm probably holding about 6 or average of 6 boxes in that red box in a size 13. So it narrows the search to just finding one item out of the 6.
Here's
So
a
that-
question.
Yeah.
Why not do it by size?
Because it would be I haven't because it would be too like I think it would cover the whole U-shaped rack. And then
Just needs
if
to be
it's
more
different,
modular than
well,
that?
also if a different brand, different box size,
Oh, yeah, okay.
then they're harder to stack, right? Like a size 12
yeah,
is
it would
way
be all
bigger.
wonky.
Yeah,
I figured you had reasons.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
that's what it is,
I wasn't
yeah.
thinking about the physical logistics of that, like the different
Yeah.
box sizes.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
like
though.
like a Adidas size 9 is a Nike size 8. Then it would be unless they'd be all stacked way higher. Then it would be like different. But also the reason why we do that by brand or by box size is when we run inventory checks.
Yeah,
We do
it's
it by
easier.
when you're doing by sorting by alphabetical, then it's all Adidas, right?
Yeah.
And then
It just
so-
seems on face value. My first thought was like, when like I do have really miscellaneous inventory that's all mixed together in clear bins. So like I can see the item in the bin before I open it because
That's
it
true.
stands out from the other
Yeah.
items because it doesn't look like the
yeah,
other
because they're
items.
not identical next to each other.
So I was thinking
right,
that
right.
like what's the trade off there of like
Yeah.
all the boxes are look the same, but you're
Yeah.
just looking for that one number.
Yeah, that's true. But
That's interesting.
I would say our organization, we're 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, nice.
Ah.
Just
Well,
that
especially
0.5.
after Anna got us to the extra 0.5, especially when we
Yeah,
start
you
doing.
should give me the 0.5. Shoot.
Yeah, well, especially when she helped us with the SKU system on the clothing. I think that got us there.
Glenn, you
Okay.
gave yourself, what did you give yourself? A 9 and a 6?
Yeah.
So with that average to
I guess the
7.5?
different platform.
7.5.
True.
You're 7
Yeah.
and a half
Okay,
average.
Seven
I'm
and a
gonna
half.
tally us up and see who
Oh,
wins at the
man.
end.
Okay.
Here we go. Except I'm not gonna take the 0.5 Ken just gave me. It says.
No, I already took it.
I already
know.
took it.
I fed
He's
you for
claiming
that.
I'm not
0.5.
changing my answer.
He's claiming that 0.5.
That
Yeah,
was
we-
good food.
I was already
for 0.5.
compensated. We ate out really good food the whole time.
All right, number 2. Overstocking slow-moving items.
Oh,
Now,
1.
Anna wins.
my strategy.
so this one going into Q4, obviously it's the highest buying season, as me and Ken had said in a lot of live
It's
shows.
not obvious to all of us. Okay.
We're like, hey, if this is the time, for an item to sell, it has to be during this time. You might want to force it to get money back if it's been sitting for, I don't know, what would you say is the breaking point, Kenny, to where
I'd say like 9 months. Anything over 9 months,
Oh,
they
man.
gotta go.
Oh, okay. And
9 months makes sense because you guys are babies.
I know.
I have no breaking point. I'm 7 years in going strong.
It could be several years.
It could be 10
No,
years. I don't know.
I
I'll
literally
let
just
you know.
accepted an offer earlier and it's been sitting for 3 years.
Yeah.
So, so I'm not saying that I don't have
Okay.
anything over 9 months.
You would just prefer not
But
to.
you would prefer it.
I would also prefer not to, but I think take heart, anyone who sells random stuff like me, because I literally do sell things every week that have been listed for years. Like, not that, you have to like do the cost analysis
But
yourself.
what
of,
about
like,
the algorithm?
and what about the algorithm, and what about the physical space it's taking up, right?
That's
I'm
true,
less
yeah.
willing to hang on to stuff that's taking up a ton of space. But if it's like not really hurting anybody, and eventually 4 years from now it'll sell for what I wanted to get out of it in the first place, I'll wait.
It was a great investment, better than stock market.
Maybe.
That's what I always say.
And yet I've
Maybe.
given myself a 1. I scored a 1 on this. What about
So-
you, Glenn?
I think for the slow moving items, I'm trying to think. I would probably say if this was, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago, I would definitely be up there because that's also when I was more into like trying things that I didn't really know about. But you do have to
Right.
try. I
Yeah.
think that it is important to figure out how those things are.
Totally. You gotta
at
get the
this
information by
point-
experience sometimes.
Exactly. For this point, I would say I'm still at like an 8 because even though I have whatnot, I can sell anything that day. Doesn't mean it's gonna be profitable or not.
Right.
It'll move.
Right.
You
But
can sell it for a
yeah, I
loss,
could
for
sell
sure,
it.
right?
But I also have like a big, huge lot of golf shoes that are like very slowly moving on
Yeah.
eBay. And so I do see that as a slow moving item. They're
It's
profitable,
timeless,
but
classic golf
Classic.
shoes.
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, there's
classic.
always people getting old, Glenn.
True. They're classic and they're timeless until they fall apart in your
Right,
inventory
yeah, till
because
they
they've been
dry
sitting
rot.
there. Exactly. So that's what I would say is bothering me on my business of the slow moving items. And honestly, I'd rather just have a garage sale and just start getting rid of them. That's how long they've been
Yeah.
there. I
That's
just,
how fed up he is.
yeah, I don't want to
On
see
that
them
note,
anymore.
though, I did source earlier this year. I sourced a pair of from the 70s pair of Adidas cleats, and somebody bought them for like their bookshelf or something for like 70 or 80 bucks, I think.
So you just have to
That's
wait
a
till
vintage.
They probably would have
Yeah,
dry
yeah,
rotted
yeah,
if
yeah.
you wore they probably would have fallen apart.
10
but
more
they-
years, Glenn, they'll be vintage.
Yeah, they were happy with them. Ken, did you rate yourself yet?
No, he hasn't even talked.
No, I haven't even talked about it.
Oh, well, you said 9 months, and I think I hijacked what you were
Oh,
saying.
I would say 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
So you want to do better, is what you're saying?
Yeah, because
Me too.
I think this year I've gotten way better. I mean, I've gotten way better of like the fact that I'm willing to let go. The fact that I just told you guys that I sold one of my shoe that I've wanted to have for the longest time,
Yeah.
and it was somebody offered me $60 less than what I wanted. I probably would have like back, if you knew me back in the day, I would give you $1.
You would
off.
have
It's like,
scoffed.
yeah, I would have like
Yeah.
$60 off, But in grand scheme of things, it was only 10% off
Yeah.
from the listing price. But I've been, I think that what helped me the most of letting go stuff faster now is the automatic paid item, that green check.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say coming to my house and seeing how much crap I have in.
Oh, yeah, that too.
You're like, oh my gosh, just let it go. Don't turn it.
I
into
know,
her.
I know that. I know I'll never get there. So that's Anna's like the boundary line,
Yeah.
and it's a good
Yeah.
reminder.
Listen.
But 6 out of 10. 6
6
out
out
of
of
10.
10.
Because offer me a decent deal. I got you.
Okay.
You kidding
You're
me?
getting it.
Exactly.
You're getting
Drop it in there.
Yeah.
I want that clip with like all kinds of reverb on it. You're getting it. That'd be great. Just drop
Like
that.
you're like in a
Okay.
little
With-
cave.
with
Cave of Wonders.
with Chuck's dropped up biggity big.
Yes, the biggity beat drop was
Yeah, the biggity-
iconic.
yeah.
All right, are we ready for number 3? We still
Number
got.
3.
Man, we're not even
I
halfway
know.
done. We're barely getting there. Okay, so
We're
number
good,
3,
we're good.
inaccurate inventory tracking. Now, this could be double selling an item, not knowing, how many you do have in stock if you do buy multiples. Now, if you're thrifting, things like that, more than likely you might have some like vintage items that are kind of one-offs, things like that. So kind of like when it sells, unless you're cross-listing. Then it sells somewhere else. Then hey, I forgot to take it down. Things like that happen. But I would say on my end, the good and the bad, like eBay, once again, I'm 9 out of 10. I know where things are, and most likely with the jerseys, they're kind of one-offs. I mean, some have 2 or 3, but it's not too bad. The whatnot side, I would say what I should improve on. It was just so much easier when all my inventory was in my house. So when someone wants a hat on the fly, I can pull it and sell it. And I mean, I could have like a spreadsheet on hand and then just kind of get it later on or something like that.
Oh, you could have a display model, huh?
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you have a display model, and imagine if you do it like, how some of the hat stores have it. They write on the bottom what they have available.
True.
Ooh, that would be good.
I think I would have to like really take the time to be ready on the fly.
Yeah.
But also, like Ken knows too, since things move so quick, like I'd really have to be on top of my game after the show to make sure that like that inventory is correct. Yeah.
See, I feel like you gotta have somebody, because like I know, like in the top of my head, I know we have that, and I just say like, oh, sell this. And then JC takes note that it's somewhere. It's not on the sell pile today, but we gotta find it.
Have we figured out how to clone JC yet?
Not yet.
That's what I want for Christmas.
Just a JC.
I want a JC for my own.
Yeah.
So what did you rate yourself on whatnot?
That one I'm at a 6 out of 10. So I'm a 6 and a 9 again on this inaccurate inventory
Solid
tracking.
I would say. Are we judging ourselves right now, or
no, definitely right now, because
Yeah.
we're already in this moment. Yeah.
Right now, 9.6, baby.
No.
Yeah.
I refuse to write
You
a
know
0.6.
why? You know why?
No.
Because
96%?
the last 2 weeks, JC scraped. We scraped everything, and what has been unlisted.
Okay, but 9.6 instead of 9.5? I have to do the math.
9.675 actually.
Absolutely not. I'll give you a 9 point. I'd rather give you 9.75.
9.75.
Okay.
9.75. We were like really good, like
closest to
really
perfection possible.
Yeah. If it was, we would be perfect if there's no glitch. I'm just joking.
Well,
there's no glitch.
I was
guys.
thinking along those same lines. I've had a couple of things happen recently where it was like, oh, this item sold in August of last year.
Oh.
Somehow it sold in August of this year, and I sure didn't relist it, and I don't have it, and I literally don't know how that happened. But it seems like not my fault, if we're being perfectly honest. But I was going to humbly give myself a 9.5 because that kind of stuff does randomly happen on occasion.
Okay, 9.5 it is.
Yeah.
Right.
One mistake.
One mistake.
We've
I'll
had
take
one.
it.
We've had one person that we couldn't fulfill this year. The rest we've always been able to find an alternative. Besides one.
My worst thing has been, which has happened the first time I moved, when I moved everything across the country. Occasionally things would be like broken, and I didn't know until it sold because it just wasn't obvious. And I've had that happen a couple times again this time around. So, but what can you do? It's like mitigate the risk as much as you can and move on with your life. So,
all right. So we're not doing too bad. We're not reckless with our inventory count and stuff like that. We're doing decent.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 left.
We can do it.
Number 4. Ignoring product defects or quality control issues. Now, how often does this happen if you do have a supplier, maybe you are doing retail ARB? I would say that it does definitely happen. You come home, there's a sensor on it, it's dirty. Even buying from stores, people think you have like some sort of flawless, item when things happen. And what also I've noticed too, if you're buying from, let's say you are doing retail ARB, someone goes to the Nike outlet, they're drinking their Starbucks because it's holiday time. They spill a little bit of coffee on that. You don't really see it, and then you come home and you're like, what is this stain? You know, I thought it was brand new.
Right.
Random things happen like this. If you want to go, I guess, to like garage sale, thrifting type of things, this is probably like your number one thing to focus on when it comes to like quality control issues.
Yeah.
You know, if you're selling, you know, I don't know, board games or puzzles, you gotta count pieces. You gotta see if all of that stuff is there.
Hence why I don't sell board games or puzzles unless they're sealed.
Books are, you know what? I think people kind of underestimate books and what kind of defects they could have. You're not gonna be going through all the pages, but
writing,
you know, writing,
got missing page,
missing pages.
A dead
like
bug
that.
smashed between the pages.
Oh,
yes, I've
that's the
seen
worst.
it. Yes, I've seen it.
Hidden dollar bills. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
That's
the
a
best
win.
kind.
That's
Use your money as bookmarks, people.
If
Cash
you were
is
to go
the
to
king.
like older items like VHS, people sell VHS systems or like things like that. You're testing out products. So in this case, the quality control issues. Kenny, rating, what do you think? You come home, outlet only has one shoe in the box.
Yeah.
Or two of the same shoe.
For us, it gets kind of like, it gets filtered when listing, right? But you have to think there's two kinds of buys, right? When you're buying like 10, 20 pairs, right? Like those can be gone through quick. And those times, you know, like we still find sensors here and there on stuff that we've bought a long time ago. Now I just have a drill ready and some magnets ready to drill it out and stuff like that. But I would say the hardest thing is really the sorting. You know, like when you say new with tags, some tags are like, some have tags, some have like been detached because they're in a giant pile. I think that's kind of like the hard part, but we haven't had issues it going through the inventory phase because, you know, the receiving, the listing, and then we have to put it on inventory. Then the last touch is shipping. The only issues that would happen is like sensors that was stuck in or was in the pockets and stuff like that. So I would say we're at a 9. We're pretty good at that. There might be some, you know, like some dirt or it's been tried on, right? Because if you bought multiple of the same item, you're probably only checking the 1 or 2 box, and if you have 3 or 4, you just assume because you have a backup pair. That's why it's important when you have like when you're down to your last pair, you gotta make sure that pair is.
You have
pristine.
a backup pair, but you still spent money on it. Like you don't want to be like, oops, one of these is a dud. Like
Yeah, and the bad thing is too is
well, if they're exactly the same.
yeah,
Right. If
right.
they're
But
exactly
like
the
if
same.
two of them are, or one of them is 2 left feet.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
that happened. Like I have 3 pairs. Out of I have 3 pairs that have like mismate. Right, mismate happens. Like the store put them.
Yeah.
I have a mismate of like 2 different. Like it was Brooks. Brooks Ghost 15 on the left and Brooks Ghost 14. They're the same exact shoe, but just 2 different models.
That's
but they all
funny.
look like triple black, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I don't know if we actually sold it, but we actually kind of like listed it as a mismatch, but they're the same size.
Yeah.
So.
I'd probably say the bonus tip for this is to go through the quality control issues before you like list or sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know, like let's say Ken said, for example, you have 4 pairs, you're down to the last one, and let's say you didn't check it. It's way past the time to return it. You know, or you're trying to find that receipt. Let's say it's past 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever that is, wherever you got it from.
Yeah.
And then the bottom is, you know, used or scraped up that you didn't see. It's missing the shoe tree. There's different things wrong with it. Then you just take a loss on that product and you sell it maybe pre-owned or something like that. But it's definitely something to check.
Pre-loved, Glenn.
Pre-loved.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just kidding. But I think it's still technically pre-owned on the item
Pre-loved.
specifics.
That's true. They should change that. eBay, if you're listening,
Come
change
on,
it to
eBay.
pre-love.
Yeah. Love.
Yeah, I totally agree with that though. Like, do as much as you can on the front end. I have multiple like layers of double checking things, but I do sometimes still, and I just chalk this up to my not great eyesight, but I sometimes will still catch flaws like when I'm doing the photos, and I'm like, oh, what the heck? Because it's in great lighting, you know, like I can see it way better than like under nasty fluorescent lights in the store or whatever. So sometimes I'll notice things like that. But the worst one I've had this year that I can recall was at a bag sale, and I got a whole bunch of great clothes. Man, it was a great bag sale. I made tons of money off of that bag sale. Approximately 50 cents an item is what it broke down to, I think. But anyway, I had some kind of a skirt, like I think it was a J. Crew skirt. Y'all, there was literal poop in the skirt.
What? Oh my gosh.
And it looked as though it had been washed and dried already. Like it was like in there. So I saw that, like, I think when I was taking the photos, and I was like, oh my gosh, no. And I just immediately was like putting this in the garbage and not listing this item, obviously. So some people might have still tried to like wash it again. I don't know. Guys. I was just like, no, absolutely not. So that happens, especially at the bins. You got to watch out if you're thrifting like hardcore, like at the bins. Yeah. That's why people wear gloves because of things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like while you're shopping, like if you're, you know, the typical example of like going through the thrift store, look at everything really closely before you put it in your cart. Look at every single thing again really closely before you check out, because you might end up it might not stay in your cart if you examine it a couple of times. Kind of look with new eyes. Once the novelty of finding it has worn off, you might see things you didn't see the first pass.
That's true.
So look there, and then obviously while you're, you know, getting ready for photos or logging or whatever you're doing, like normally I look at everything basically like 4 times by the time I examine everything 4 times by the time I've taken the photos. So usually things will get past me, but also, you know, there's been different times throughout my business where other people have done the photos, and sometimes stuff has been missed by me because I wasn't doing those 4 checks myself, and then maybe whoever is taking the photos also missed it, and I don't see this flaw until I pull it to ship it. So that's the other thing, which that's just human error. Like that happens. Not trying to throw
we can't have human
anybody
errors
under
here,
the
Anna.
bus. Huh?
We can't have human errors here.
No, I know. But like, you know, that's like the control freak in me that's like, I should have looked at it one more time, you know. But really, like, everybody just overlooks things when they're doing a massive photo batch.
So what's your score in this
including
one?
Me. My score, this is the lowest score besides the 1 that I'm going to give myself so far. It's going to be an 8.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with mine. I think 8 is good.
Glenn, you're so humble.
There's
or
always
so
things
hard
to
on
improve.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Always things to improve.
Yeah.
I think on my end, I guess with like some of the pre-owned jerseys that come in and things like that, I definitely got to check for all that stuff. And I know there's like a Netflix documentary. I don't know if it just came out or it's coming out about like the companies and how wasteful things are.
It's wild.
It's wild. It's sad. You know, it's like crazy on how much stuff that goes in and out from the businesses. And even looking at the stuff that I sell, and even like Ken could probably agree too, like some of the Nike stuff or anything that we have, it's like you kind of think to yourself, like, what kind of things didn't make it to the outlet that they, let's say, messed up on the print or, you know, things like that. And then what happens to it after that? Where does it go? What do they do with it? So those are quality issues. I mean, obviously, we've seen a lot of B-grade items that hit the outlets, and they have the stamp and everything. So quality control issues on their end, what they feel like is reasonable for the consumer, you know, despite these flaws and things like that. Any take on that, you guys?
No, I think
I still like your humble score that you gave yourself, but I just want to say on the kind of secondhand side of that, there's an actually amazing book called Secondhand by Adam Minter, I believe. I read it years and years ago, but he goes all over the world. He's a journalist and goes all over the world to figure out like what happens to stuff, you know, and he travels through the whole life cycle of like eventually it lands in the landfill or it goes overseas for like a big textile like deconstruction process. And it is mind-blowing. Like, that book is several years old at this point, but if anybody's like a bookworm out there and you're like interested in that kind of global economics of that, it's super interesting. It's a great book. I need to reread it. Actually, it's been a while. Maybe he'll write a sequel.
There you go.
An update. I need an update. Yeah.
All right, we got one left, and let's see what you guys think about this one. It is not diversifying suppliers. This one is, I guess, depends on what you're doing with your business, but I mean, I've tried it all when it comes to like flea markets, garage sales, thrifting. I've done those, supplier stuff, retail arb. And so diversifying, I think, is good, but you also can't like stop doing something that's working for you. And I also don't want people to think like, well, this one thrift store really hits for me. I'm doing well on my business, but since I have to diversify, I'm just going somewhere else sometimes. And
Glen said I had to diversify.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Like, don't do that. So
Yeah.
it's a hit or miss on diversifying. But me and
That's
Ken
true.
did a lot of retail arb with like Ross, Burlington and stuff. And
That's diversifying when you go to like 10 different stores in one day. That's
I mean,
it may be
Yeah.
the same brand, but they don't hold the same exact inventory. So
Yeah.
it's still diversifying, right?
But I think after 2020-ish, when those stores aren't hitting,
Yeah.
me or Ken, we were just gonna sit around and do nothing. You know, we got to find out how to get other types of inventory that don't rely on these stores. Even though, yeah, it is thrill of the hunt, it's fun, things like that. But your business is not gonna grow if the items aren't there coming from these stores. And so I already knew, seeing that, like, I gotta do something else and not just rely on these stores right now. So what do you guys think? Not diversifying suppliers.
I'm terrible at it. I'm probably a 5 because I am once something hits, you try to find what else is in this store that I can flip. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of going to a different store, have you squeeze everything out of this yet? And that's kind of like my mentality on that. I mean, like, that when somebody asks me, like, where do you source your product, I always say, like, if their intent is really to be successful themselves, it's like Nike outlet. Like, there's always deals to be found in Nike outlet, or at like a clearance, like a brand clearance store. There's always. I mean, we've wandered at a New Balance outlet one time, and you hit there too. So I think it's matter of, like, when you're diversifying, right? Like, it might be the similar category or product, but there's a lot of stores that carry them. So, whether you go online arbitrage or physical store or third party, like Ross, Burlington and stuff like that, we're still finding Nikes there. So I think, I found Nike coats at Ross, for $30 that retail for $180. So it's like, for me, that's the W. And I think I'm a 5. I don't solely rely on the store or the supplier. It's more of like the product. I'm loyal to the product, not to the store.
Okay, so that's what I was about to ask. So let's say you go to Nike outlet, there's nothing. Do you get in your car and go home, or do you say, let's go check out Puma outlet, let's go check out
You
New
gotta
Balance
go.
outlet, let's go check
You have
out
to go to the
Adidas
other
outlet?
ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta go run through your priority of highest hits, right? Like you go through your pattern. I feel like that's a good way to say it, right? Like, your main priority is Nike, and then there's New Balance, there's Converse, there's Adidas, and then from there on,
and then there's Crocs.
There's Crocs too. I would rank Crocs higher than Adidas, to be honest.
Kidding.
I just sold Crocs for $130 today, and
was it the Croots?
No. It's actually some like
Regular
fuzzy
Crocs.
slippers, pink fuzzy slippers with
my
animal
gosh.
print, 131. They didn't
Incredible.
even ask a discount. I would have gave it to them for 100.
Do you remember where they shipped to? What state?
No.
Just
No.
curious.
I
have
don't
to
know.
look up.
I don't know. It didn't went to AG. I mean, I'll be surprised if Crocs are going to AG.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I think that's going back to Glenn's question. I feel like you have to run through your Rolodex of kind of like your recent wins or your past experiences. I feel like it's better that way. I'm not saying don't try new things, but especially on clutch time, Q4, I would say stick to what you know and what you've had experience with, especially on a short-term gain and short-term win. You got to do that.
All right, there you go.
Well, I'm regretting giving myself a 1 because I'm definitely going to lose.
One? Why do you think 1?
Well, no, not on this one.
Oh.
I gave myself a 1 on keeping my inventory to
Oh,
1.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
But I'm like, Ken gave himself a 5 when he didn't think he was good at it. I should have gone all the way to 1.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
though, that is not what you asked. I'm actually giving myself a 9 on this one.
Okay,
She's
she's
trying
trying
to
to cope up.
No,
Not
I'm
9.8.
already. You're already beating me. Trust me. I've got it on paper
9.8,
right
Anna,
here.
come on.
Well, I'm giving myself a 9 because I think I do a pretty good job of this. I source
you're the most
all
diversified
kinds of
seller.
places. Yeah, but I'm giving myself a 9
Hence
because
the name.
right, hence the name. Thanks, Ken. Hashtag thanks, Ken. But I want to have more of my beautiful rainbow of sourcing options to include more retail arb sources.
So kind of just like even it out, not
Well,
like maybe or
at least,
where's your percentage? What's your percentage?
Yeah,
right
I mean
now,
at least like more regularly, and or like right now, I would be way more likely to like drive
go
by
through it,
some thrift store I've never stopped in before and go like, oh, I got to check that out at the thrift store instead of like,
Passing
oh,
a
hey,
Ross.
here's and like. I mean, I love Ross, so I always go in if I have time. But like going in, checking the clearance racks of like, a Ross Marshalls TJ Maxx situation or some, like I wouldn't immediately think of it for that. But like I have, even before I was really thinking of it as retail arb, like I would do that. Like I would go to Anthropology and grab stuff off the clearance rack sometimes, and just whenever it made sense, I would still research
maybe
it.
just add more frequency to those.
Yeah,
right. Like
and
even it out, if that even. Maybe
yeah,
not
like
even. Maybe
or
like
balance
70-30.
it more,
Yeah.
right? Like I want to increase that
Add
portion of
more.
it. So that's why I'm not giving myself a 10.
That's true. I think, and also too, I wouldn't say, and this is what I feel like a lot of quote unquote thrifters discount themselves. Thrifters, listen to it. I'm giving you guys some.
He's giving us credit.
Yeah, I'm giving you guys credit. The research is way easier in a brand new product.
Yeah, it
And
is.
if you guys can research older stuff that don't even have markings,
Yeah,
and you can't return it,
usually.
let me tell you,
Sometimes you
here's a jug full of confidence that you can return stuff if it's brand new and retail arbitrage.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, return it. 30 days most, get your money back. 60 days, get in-store credit. I always push for people in-store credit. That means you could just respend it there. And I think you guys should do it more often. And I think you guys have actually an advantage over a newbie trying to do RA for the first time rather than you just trying to cross. I mean, I've sourced Anna looking at RA, and I just tell her this 2-3 different kind of like parameters, and she just goes and hunts it, and it's like this. I said yes.
That's
so
it.
it's like that's how it works.
It's so true, though. I think, like, being used to generally not returning things, like, sometimes you can return stuff to Goodwill. You can't return stuff to a yard sale. Or, like, an estate auction. Like, no, it's not going to happen. So there really is, like, way less risk. I think everybody who's like me in that they feel like some kind of way about spending more on cost of goods, like you need to remember that as long as you can keep track of your receipt, like you're safe. You can have it listed for almost a month, and then if you change your mind, you can literally take it back.
Well, also too, that's the thing, that's keyword in a month. If you're used to selling things over 6 months, then you don't have that kind of confidence of like, oh, what if it doesn't sell in the first Because
Right.
if you're buying brand new and it's in season, you should be able to sell it in 30 to 60 days. That's the kind of like, like what you
Standard.
want to do when you're doing
Yeah.
RA.
Right.
Unless it's out of season.
All right. I didn't give a rating, but mine's 8 out of 10. I feel like there's two strong ones right now that I'm working
Right.
with, but I need one more. I think three good,
One more?
great suppliers or where to get products. I think you're on
What
top.
about 5, Glenn? 5.
Oh, man.
Like Gary V. 5.
Oh, 5. That's true. Forget 3.
Get it
I'm going for
five.
5.
You gotta go 5. 3, you get that next week. Come on, add
Come
more
on,
difficulty
man.
in your life.
That's
Come
true.
on,
Make
man.
it harder. Go buy $1 million house, and then that's your goal is to pay it off.
Yeah.
Go make it in
Come
2
on.
years.
In 2
2
years.
I told
What?
you, you can
didn't
pay
have
off
a
my
mil
house
this
next
year?
if you want.
Okay, that means you can buy
You don't
a
have to
$2
get
million
another one for
house.
yourself. It's fine.
Yeah.
Go make it happen.
You
Come
know
on.
what? Buy a ranch. Buy a $5 million
Buy a
ranch.
Buy a ranch.
You'll get it you'll pay it in 10 years.
That's the new, like, take a hike. Buy a ranch.
Buy a ranch.
Buy a
what?
ranch.
Buy a ranch.
Yeah, build your own custom home. Come
Well,
on.
you guys are going to love this.
Well, I already know Ken won because he rated high.
Oh, let me double
No?
check my math here.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I need your predictions and
Oh, okay.
even wagers if you're gambling
Oh, no.
types.
I'm not a gambling type. You know what I was thinking about, too, though? I know we talked about, like, paying off the house thing, but I was telling the wife, too. I was like, so if I bought the house in 2016, it's a 30-year loan.
Yeah.
2046. Like, I don't even know what that even looks like. You know, let's say you pay
No.
the full, like, 30 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
banks are so hopeful, right? That things are the same for the next 30 years.
but
Or-
even the way houses look, I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
you know.
Or this is how old school they think. Or they probably read people's mind better. And this is actually a fact. I know a few bankers that does loan approvals and business loan approvals. A lot of their major in what they went to school for are psychology. So on a very
You know why that
high,
is?
huh?
You know why that is?
Yeah, they read the person if they can get it done or not.
Incorrect.
Or they
Right.
sell them stuff as they read through them.
It's because it's really hard to get a job with a bachelor's in psychology.
That is true.
And
That
guess
is
what?
true.
Peopling always applies.
Yeah,
You're never
it's-
gonna regret
Well,
understanding
yeah,
people
I wouldn't
better.
say, right? Like you could be like a stockholder or a thing, or
Yeah.
like a business merger acquisition person. Then you have an edge. But I think going back to that is either they can read you well that you're gonna go through it, or they're gonna psych you to
Yeah.
stick to what you're doing for the next 30 years, whether you're happy or not. Oh, you just got a job? You got promoted and you're going to pay? Oh, you can afford this
Yeah.
house payment for the next 30 years. All you got to do is don't worry about life and worry about bills. And
Yeah.
people just like, oh, yeah. I gotta
yeah.
get a bigger house, just like the Joneses. I got a bigger car too.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a raise? Here's another car that you need to buy.
Lifestyle inflation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Trap.
well, in
It's
this
a trap.
reality
They trap you.
that we live in presently, Ken did win by 0.25%. And not percent, 0.25 points. Because he gave himself, well, it would have been 0.675, but that was obnoxious. Actually,
Yeah.
it would have been 0.175.
175.
It would have been by 0.175. Obnoxious, so instead it's by 0.25. But, so he had 39.25. You had 39.
Wow.
So you were really close. And had I not
Done the
totally
one.
disparaged my long tail inventory,
Where
I
you
would have
at?
beat you both if I gave myself a 5 instead of a 1.
Oh.
So-
so Anna
But I
would've been on top
didn't,
of
and therefore
things.
I
Well,
lost.
I
Mine was
would say
36 and a half.
I would say though I would say Anna's skill of inventory tracking is way better.
It's top notch. I mean,
Yeah, than spoiled brand new tags people.
Listen, it's too
Yeah.
late for me, guys. I already lost.
It's too late.
It's too late
But that's
for
what I'm
me.
saying. Like Anna, all you gotta do is just switch the products you sell.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
Hello
it.
2025 goals.
Hello 2025, just be a whatnot seller like Glen and
Oh man, I don't know if I could do that.
Wait, when is our 2025 goal show?
Oh, we're gonna have one.
Oh,
We're having
but,
one.
But are we going back to 2024 goals to see if we accomplished these goals?
Oh my gosh, we probably should.
Oh,
We should
man.
pull that.
We
That's
should
We
pull
should
that. That's
revisit
That's smart.
them, and
Okay,
then
okay.
actually that'd
Thi-
be part A, and then
part
part
This
B.
is a
I like
preview.
that.
Preview everybody that's listening.
Yeah.
Make sure you watch out for our 2025 goal drops because we're gonna audit ourselves. If we stuck, we're gonna actually rate ourselves. We're gonna score
Like we just
ourselves.
did.
Like we
Oh
just
no,
did.
am I gonna lose again?
And this one is there's no ifs and buts. Is if
It
we
is
did
what
it
it
or not.
is.
Right?
We
If
did
you,
it
If you
or we
did it, you
didn't.
get 1. If you didn't do it, you get 0.
Oh.
That's how it's gonna be scored. Like,
Binary. Okay.
yeah, binary. You didn't do it.
Shoot.
Not, there was not maybe, right? So make sure you guys tune into that, and also make sure you follow our sponsors, eBay for sellers. Keep up with all the updates, and at the same time, Seller Ledger. The end of the year is coming. Make sure you get your books straight, and this is the software to get all your financials with your business squared. And I'm just gonna say that I'm way more confident doing taxes this year because I don't have to do it in 2 days. Maybe I'll have to do it in half day this time.
It's already pretty much gonna be almost.
It's pretty
done.
much done.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for my last sale in December. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna shut off my store. Just joking. Wrap this
Wrap this up.
fiscal year up, you know. But yeah, guys, appreciate you. Thank you, Hustler Hacks, for bringing down the
Bringing the fire.
the fire,
As
the
usual.
inventory talk, and I hope everybody starts running their sales and start relisting, start changing prices, sell everything,
Yeah. Clear it out.
Now's the
and
time.
we will see you next episode. Peace.
See ya.
Bye.